Emily Rose Smith, welcome to Voices of Elevate. It's lovely to see you. You are bringing a workshop, a circle to Elevate, aren't you? You work with colour and interior design and different things, don't you? Would you like to explain what your workshop's going to be?
Of course. Thank you for having me, Jenna. It's lovely to
Oh,
be
you're welcome.
Yeah, at Elevate, I'm going to be doing a circle, and that is open to anyone who's drawn to join. I know it's nice to sometimes do women's circles, but yeah, it's open to all who are kind of really drawn to explore the depths of who they are. And I'll be bringing along one of the modalities that I'm most connected with, I suppose, and that is colour therapy. And the specific system I work with is called colour mirrors. So yeah, I'll be bringing that as a tool into the circle, and the idea is for people to explore, yeah, who they truly are, any blocks that they're experiencing, and really it'll be very much about the energy that's coming up in the present moment and what we bring together as a group, as a collective group. So it'll be a very in the moment experience for people.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. So can you explain a little bit about what coloured mirrors is?
Yeah, of course. So it's a color therapy system. Um, a lot of people might have heard of a system called Aurosoma, which is very similar, but this is a different system. But essentially, color mirrors is a vibrational energy system. I've actually got I have a whole wall here, but
Mm.
I'll just pick out one bottle. So the system's made up of 87 of these round dual oil bottles, and then we've also got a whole host of sprays, essence sprays as well. So we have single color frequencies in the sprays, and then you get the double frequency of color in the bottles. So that's the system, and there's over 100 bottles. So it's a very dynamic system. It's called colour mirrors for a reason, because colour literally mirrors back to us what's going on inside of us. So this particular system works with both color and numerology, because the numbers have got the bottles have got each got a number. The way they came in, they've each got a number. So we can work with colors and numerology um, to give us messages and clues on an energetic level, to help us move through positive and negatives. And this is the lovely thing about color, it offers us positives and negatives. Um, yeah, so it helps us with our blocks, but it also really helps us discover our true potential and our infinite possibility.
Oh, amazing. And I've had different readings in the past, and sometimes you pick a bottle that you're drawn to the colors, aren't you? And other times you just pick a number.
Yes, yeah,
And
that
yeah, and you can see, so that would it like almost like oracle cards, isn't it? The way
yeah,
you pick it and it's this one and it resonates.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lady yesterday and she had never heard of the system. And I said, just pick three bottles, just pick three bottles. And she was just blown away. She said, oh my goodness me, that is just so spot on. And I have to say, that is kind of regular feedback I receive from people who are drawn to work with
Mm.
colour, and specifically colour mirrors. They just feel it really resonates in their being, with the messages that they receive. So yeah, and there's lots of different ways you can work with it. It's a very dynamic system. You can work looking at the colours, the colour combinations, the numbers, the numerology, and each bottle's got a name and a meaning. And then it's also very much about how it's interacting with that person and with that person's energy as well. Because it's going to trigger different things for different people based on their life experience, their subconscious patterning, their ancestral lineage, their past lives, if people resonate with past lives. So it's a multi-dimensional tool. And yeah, always giving. There's always new
Yeah,
information.
because the last time I had a reading, it was actually a past life thing, and it was all to do with my experience with Atlantis, and actually how I'd picked those colours to decorate my home and different things like that. And that's something that you actually work with colour mirrors with your interior design, don't you?
I do. And that is a lovely thing actually, where you've realised that the colours you've decorated your home in are linked to Atlantis based on the teachings we kind of share in Colour Mirrors. And I find it fascinating that we use colour as a way to express the soul as well, and stuff that we're trying to release, or stuff that we're drawn to or want to be inspired by. So yeah, that kind of all came about because my corporate career was very much in interior design, and even though I was in a creative industry, it was still very much a corporate way of working. And I always wanted to go and study interior design, and I studied interior architecture. But over time, there was a mismatch. My soul was I was so out of alignment with my true inner being, in terms of what I was doing, and all the context with that. And then when I discovered color therapy, color mirrors, a couple of years down the line, it was like, how can I put all this together, to create something that is, for me, more meaningful within the realms of interior design. So one of the obvious things that can be done is looking at the color palette, so paint charts and colors that people want to use in their homes. And I can link that with emotions that it triggers, or help people move through their issues, literally through choosing paint in the home. But there's also lots of other things that I've born through my kind of pairing of the two worlds, if you like. It's a lot about the energy of space. I find very, very interesting, in terms of helping people shift energetically, but also so that they've got a home that supports them, and so that the home feels energetically uplifted as well. I think a lot of people in this process of interior design forget that the building is an energy, the space has an energy that also has a voice. And
And
so
the land that the building's on as well, because sometimes people, it could be on a ley line or an old graveyard, or different things, can't it?
absolutely, that's all part of it, and it's all been part of my exploration. I suppose the easiest way to describe it is blending my material and spiritual world, and just bringing more of a spirituality to the interior design world. But yes, healing of the land is so key as well. It's massive,
Mm.
and just allowing the land and the space and the building to express, to communicate. Um, that's been a very profound kind of journey that I've explored.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
quite.
sounds like really interesting discoveries. Yeah. Yeah. And so with your workshop at Elevate, are you going to do it as a group, or will they have individual experience? How will that work?
It probably will be a bit of both, depending on how large the group is as well. If it's a larger group that decide to turn up on the day, then it's probably going to be more of a general theme, and people will have the chance to express, but it would probably be more of a high level interaction across the group. Um, if it's a smaller group, then I can go in on a more one-to-one basis, but keeping it still appropriate for a group setting as well. So it will very much depend on who turns up, how many people turn up. Um, it's always lovely to have a small group because you can actually get quite intimate with people. But when
Mhm.
you do get a slightly larger group, even if it's just 10 to 12 people, as you know, when you bring energies together like that, you can start to do something quite powerful on an
Mhm.
energetic level. But yeah, it will very much be what happens on the day and see what happens.
Hence the vision of Elevate, what you just said there about when people come together and the energies get, that's the whole ethos behind the festival itself. So it's good that you touched on that.
One of my teachers always says we'll get together, as in like a group of us. We can't even put into words what we've done on a planetary energetic level. So yeah, it's that kind of concept, isn't it? It's like
Mm.
we don't know how all these different groups, whether it's through Elevate Festival or through a Colour Mirrors workshop, we don't know what the actual impact is. We can't even begin to imagine on an energetic level
Mm.
the power of what we're actually doing. We just know that coming together is a very powerful thing. So
Well, we know what the coming together of negativity, what power that creates in the world. You know, that just having a war happening in another country right now is spreading ripples of sadness and fear across the lands, isn't it? So so at a time when there's that kind of duality of that kind of thing happening in the world, we need more and more and more of these higher energy, you know, communions happening, um, to sort of counteract those negative ripples. So yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's cliche, but love always wins.
I know. Sometimes I stop myself from saying it. All you need is love, and people think
Yeah,
we're fluffy,
yeah.
but it actually is when you realise the power of coming from the heart and the love. You know.
And it's coming from the heart, isn't it? And this is also something we teach in Colour Mirrors as well. The true authenticity, that real I amness, the pale gold, that real kind of pale gold here.
Mm,
That is that is the true power. And actually, the way the how we get this gold is it's yellow with a little bit of pink.
okay.
Pink is all about love. And so there we have it in colour. So even though all of this stuff about color, some, you know, it is actually nonsense, like a lot of it is nonsense when you think about it from the mind, but when you feel into it from another level and actually the technicalities of it, it works, it still
Mm,
works. And then when you go, well, we know that pale gold is one of the highest vibrations, and that's what is all interlinked with our I amness and our true power and the gentle, loving energy, the peace energy that we can all tune into. And then when you go, well, it's light, it's yellow with a little bit of pink, and we know that pink is love. Well, then that's it. It's kind of joy and love, and that's it. And yeah, that's what we're all searching and seeking for, is that gold. But the gold's within as well. It's
mm. It's
uh,
amazing that it's gold, because we know that we've always known that gold is this amazing, you know, it's the highest color, isn't it? You know, like the gold, everyone's seeking gold, and you
and
know, it's royal, it's celebrated, and yeah.
and we know the value of actual gold, and then
Mm,
that, you know, certain systems we use are no longer backed by gold. And yeah,
mm,
we know it in our bodies, we know. And actually I've got metal here, metal, so that is gold as well. It's not pale gold, it's gold.
mm,
But metal is all about, you know, the solidity within us, and then how it alchemizes, and how metal is such a powerful um element that we have on earth, and that we can alchemize that solidity into liquid gold. And that's kind of this gold that spreads as we connect more and more.
mm.
It's powerful,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love
and
seeing
we
it
can
in the,
alchemize. Yeah, we can alchemize. That's the, yeah,
yeah.
as powerful human beings, not just mortal soul,
Mm.
not just mortal beings.
Yeah. And I've always really understood the power of color. Like I'm definitely, I don't know if you can tell by the wallpaper behind me and the pink sofa, is I'm very much a dopamine decorator. My whole house is patterned wallpapers and colorful walls and, you know, animals and different things. Um, but also what I've noticed, I'm somebody who evolves a lot. I've always been on a kind of spiritual evolution journey, and every time I shift or quantum leap I have to redecorate. It's like, oh right, I don't want those colors now, that doesn't really align with the energies that I'm feeling anymore, and then I'll redecorate. So I've always felt it, and also with the colors that I wear. You know, I'm very, you know, so what you're saying really resonates with me, and there's definitely something in it, because I think if you are in touch with energies and intuition, then color is just such a big thing. You know, it changes the way you feel. It's massively connecting with, yeah, your soul on
Yeah,
such a level, and then you express your soul with color. So I express my soul with color, but I also use color to manipulate my feelings, you know, in the same way that I would music, you
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, and exactly what you're touching on there. You're recognizing that you're using it as a tool for expression, which is
Yeah.
amazing because if we go to the chakras, you know, the throat is the one that gives us the opportunity to express all of those things that go on in our bodies. So you're expressing it, which is amazing. And then, yeah, I loved what you said about it's our soul. Well, our color is light as well. If we go to the rainbow, and if we know that if we shine a prism and we put a light through the prism, then we get the rainbow spectrum. So
Mm.
all of the colors make up the white light, which is what, if we're looking at it from the perspective that we are light bodies, we're light frequency, even though we feel like we're just three-dimensional physical um, bodies,
Mm.
it's the light within us, and that's why we interact so well with color. Or it's too much for someone, and it yeah,
Yeah.
it will trigger their pain or their suffering, which is why someone might not want
Mm.
to express themselves through color. Um,
Yes, because some people are very wear very light, kind of neutral colors, don't they? Some people are always in black, you know, and other people are really happy to express themselves very, very colorfully. Um, it's very interesting, and a lot of people probably do this all unconsciously.
they do.
And what I'm really feeling from you is that it's a very 5D. It's a very kind of soul. It's really tuning into our soul and our expression and our creativity and everything. You know, it's such a thing to tap into.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that color mirrors has taught me, you know, on that 5D perspective, is that there really is limitless potential. Like, it's not just one solid reality. There is limitless, but also this concept in life that we can play, we can have fun. We're here to create. We're creative beings. It's about finding our creativity, but also, you know, the joy, the fun, the play. That's what we came to do.
Mm.
It's forgotten, and we've also been brought up in this particular time where we're coming into program society, which is all part of it, but we forgot about having fun and playing. And I don't mean, you know, adrenaline junkie type stuff, because there's a lot of that, because there's that fine line, isn't there, between using things as coping mechanisms and stuffing down and suppressing things.
Mm.
It's more that real kind of simplicity of life and joy that comes from nature and our own inner being, and our gifts that we can bring online, and working with the natural world, and the present moment. So yeah.
Mm. So another thing that you're doing at Elevate with your partner Phil also really ties into color, because as I just had a sip of my orange juice that then kind of matched my hair, so it's a very orange theme with my soul today. I you are getting involved with the juice stall, aren't you, with
Yep,
Phil?
yep, yeah, yeah. So yeah, absolutely. It links to color. I've just had
It does link to color, doesn't it?
Yeah, I haven't got I finished my juice very quickly today, but I had an orange juice. So yeah, it
Mm.
absolutely links in with emotions and your light frequency, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually find that extension with my juices. I very rarely have an orange juice because I often put something of a darker color in there. Often it will be the greens will take it away, but I didn't actually put any green in there. And so it's quite interesting, but I was like, oh, it's orange, you know, and so it lifts my soul just looking at my juice, you know, even when it's green. And sometimes I like the combination of my juice with what I'm wearing, and I've posted pictures in my stories before, like, look, I'm color coordinating with my clothes and my juice. So, you know, that color thing is such a strong theme in my life, you know. And also you'll know that we kind of eat the rainbow, don't we? We eat very similar diets, don't we? It's a very like mostly raw, high vibrational food. And so the whole plate will be a rainbow.
Eating the rainbow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different to eating beige food. And the other thing that's coming to me is colors all around us as well. And you're clearly someone who's very conscious of color, you know, like we've spoken about in your home, in, you know, decoration, in your clothes, in your food. It's all around us. And imagine if the world was grey.
Mm.
You know, there aren't really many things in life that are, well, there's a lot of grey area, I suppose. But if you think about the actual physical world, you know, there's so much colour around us, and that colour comes from food as well. So
Mm.
yeah, it's all there. It's all there for the taking, and it's just becoming more conscious of it and how it recognizing that it is a vibration and that we're vibrational beings, which is why we respond to it, and recognizing how it can amplify your life and support your life and shift your energies as
Mm.
well.
So are there high vibrational colors and low vibrational colors?
Well, all the colors have different frequencies. So red, because red is associated with the base chakra, which is the lower part of the body,
Mm.
it moves at a slower pace. But that's not to say that it's a low vibration, but it does, yeah, it's not a low vibration, but that particular color works with specific emotions which are of a lower
Of
frequency.
the low, yeah, the lowest chakras. Yeah, okay.
But all of the colors, they work at different frequencies, but they all have the capacity to A, release low vibrations, and B, access higher vibrations. So if we look at red as an example, it's a slower frequency because it relates to the lower frequency, the lower area of the body. So it's closer to earth, which is why it's that slower, because earth is more dense as you and compared to higher frequencies like violet, for example, which is the crown.
Mm. Yeah.
So because we're closer to spirit, it's higher, it's moving faster. But red, if we just take one negative emotional and one positive emotional, red is very much associated with the release of anger,
Mm.
which is a low vibration in terms of how it makes us feel. But in the positive, when we release anger, we access um, more energy and more passion for life. So,
Mm.
and that is a high vibration. So the colors, I suppose, in a way, colors are neutral. It's just how your body's
I
responding.
guess if red, because my mum always used to say that years ago. I remember when I was a teenager, I wanted to decorate my room red. She's going, "Oh, you can't decorate it red. It's an angry color," and I don't know where she had that information from, but she knew. and
No, this is the thing. Yeah,
yeah, and but like, would you have to? You'd probably have to have anger stored in your body to be able to be penetrated in that way, wouldn't you?
yeah,
So it's a good thing because then it would help you release that anger. Yeah.
yeah. So if you imagine yourself as as an electromagnetic being, which I know you're very familiar with. So if you're recognizing that you're an electromagnetic being, so thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. So if you're holding on to the feeling of anger, that's a magnet, and the magnet's in you. So that's why you would then attract situations to you that are going to bring up anger, because you're holding the frequency of anger, which is a magnet, and you're a magnet. So that's kind of a high level description of how we would attract in things from the out that would appear to be coming from the outside to us when actually we're holding the frequency of anger. But we have the power to release it. We have the power to release energy, stored emotion, recognizing that emotion is energy in motion. It was never meant to get stuck in the vessel. It's meant to move through the vessel, and color is an amazing way to support you to recognize your power to release stuck energy.
Mm. And all of the workshops that Elevate are contributing towards that clearing, because to elevate, we need to be able to clear those blocks that are weighing down that energetic field. To be able to rise, because while we're holding on to those things, you know, like you said earlier, we've forgotten how to be in joy and play. Well, it's because we're often holding on to a lot of things that are kind of keeping us stuck in the serious, the angry, the resentful, the victim, whatever it is that's kind of blocking us. And so, yeah, your workshop sounds absolutely perfect.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting, and it's amazing to be part of, a festival, your community gathering that you've created, where all of these people, we've all discovered different modalities. We're all essentially doing the same thing, like you say, we
Yeah,
all rise. I
yeah.
actually, I very much feel we are naturally high vibrational. We're already naturally high vibrational. It's all these negative things that get placed on. So
Mm.
just, and that's when we peel back the layers, that's when the truth starts to appear, which is,
Yeah, like you don't have to become anything, you just have to clear.
yeah,
That's it, isn't it?
yeah,
Mm. And
yeah,
maybe become, a person that's not adding to the weight with food, mindset, all the different things. So all the different modalities that are available, although it's potentially doing the same thing, that also there's different practices, but it just means that an individual can try lots of different modalities and practices and see which one resonates more with them or something that they can take forward.
absolutely, for sure, because that's exactly it. Different things resonate with different people. And I think something, I've really learned on my personal journey is that you have to come at it from all angles. I used to come at it from just very much the spiritual, emotional, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. And there are no rules here. There are no rights or wrongs. But I personally find it more powerful when I'm coming at my development journey from lots of different angles. So, like you say,
Mm,
the food, the physical, how am I dealing with my physical body? What am I putting in? And then, what am I consuming on other levels? So, social media, the news, i.e., not consuming that.
mm,
You find these things where it's like, what are you? It's not just food that you're consuming; it's everything.
mm. I was just going to say, actually, because the more things that you're doing, it kind of reinforces a new way of life. It reinforces a new lifestyle because the more modalities you're trying, the different people you're meeting that are all, facing this same direction, it kind of reinforces it, um, and then encourages you to make more positive steps in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And making, empowered decisions for yourself. So I would encourage people to try out as many different modalities.
Mm,
It widens your perspective on things. You can then start to recognize in your body what feels good for you and what doesn't feel good for you at this point in time. And then
mm,
that might change and evolve for you. But it's a very empowering place to put yourself in, to meet like-minded people on this journey. And I think people will find that more and more people are I mean, it's happening at the moment. It's
mm.
Life is changing and more people are coming on board to this. And then the more that we can ripple that out and inspire more people, then that's going to have a massive impact on how life is on this planet. So yeah, it all interrelates.
Yeah. Do you find that you attract um, predominantly different, like a certain client group? Is it mainly women, or do you have men? I mean,
It really
is it
varies.
quite diverse?
Yeah, I would say it varies. I
It's
haven't.
only when we were talking about seeing what modalities work. Sometimes some modalities are very sort of male heavy and some are quite female heavy and some are sort of older people and some for younger people, so yeah.
Predominantly, Colour Mirrors does tend to attract a female crowd, but that doesn't mean to say that men aren't interested in it. There are definitely men in the Colour Mirrors family, and I do work with men as well. Um, and so, yeah, for me, it's very much open to all. But it's very much follow that soul calling as well. But it's mixed. I would say it's mixed, and it's where that person's ready to go as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I love it because there's lots of different ways of clearing through qigong or dance or yoga and all these different kind of movement practices or breath work, and but to actually clear with color, but fuel the soul with color, and then look at how you can wear those colors or decorate the home in those colors, it then starts taking that into your personal everyday life, doesn't it? So that you're taking a bit of that wisdom throughout your your day and your life, with really being intentional about the colors, and how they're interacting with your soul. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's an interesting thing as well, because the rainbow flag has, well, I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to say it, but it's actually been inverted if you look at it. So, like with a lot of things, they're kind of being twisted. But yeah, it's just to be aware so of that. Because I was thinking, I don't know why it's come in, but yeah, it's like it's out there, but it's becoming really consciously aware of color and the power of color, and to be using it consciously, like you say,
Mm.
and to be using it in a in a creative way that uplifts us. Um, yeah.
And so in your everyday life, are you how do you work with people? Are you available for one-on-one coaching, group work? What do you do? How can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the_energy of spaces, or on my website, which is www.emilyrosesmith.co.uk. And you'll see there that I work with people one to one. I love offering personal transformation journeys for people. So that is very much based on what people want to explore. It's a very tailored experience. So those are kind of my journeys, and people can do pay as you go, or we can open up a container, which I find really, really powerful, because I'm kind of holding space and holding a container for someone to journey through, and it gives them the opportunity to really witness and observe the transformation from A to B, but also feel a difference as well. So the one-off sessions are great, but you don't get that really strong, tangible shift. So that's one-to-one work, and then I also work in the home if people are interested. So that can be anything from energy space clearing, so doing house clearings, house whisperings, and also that more conscious holistic interior design process. So selecting colours for the home more consciously, and also bringing in kind of all my knowledge about interiors, but in a more spiritual, energetic way as well. So that is what I do, and really, there's no topic that goes untouched. Like, it's whatever that person wants to explore. And actually, I find it amazing what comes up if people do come to me for house clearings. What comes up through that process, because I very much interlink the person who's living in the home with the energies of the home.
Mm.
And I make people aware. I hold the space to allow people to recognize what the house is showing them about themselves as well. So um, I do a mixture of things, but that's
Well, I'm really intrigued, because there's something going on with the energetics in my home, and I did check the feng shui and everything, and my bathroom's above my kitchen, which damp energy can get into the kitchen. So I've done things like I've got a mirror ball in my kitchen to kind of project, and I've got a mirrored duck hanging from my bathroom, because that can help kind of disperse the energy a bit. And I've put lots of plants, and I've done lots of things. But there's still something. So I might have to get your expertise on that. But what I really love about what you do is you're so articulate and educated in theory, but then you've also got this amazing intuition and wisdom there as well. And combining the two, you are such a gem. And I think, everybody should work with you.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you.
But for now, they can just come to Elevate and attend your workshop.
Yeah, come to the workshop. Like, I've done workshops before where it's kind of like 30 people, and it's quite fun, and we
Mm.
can get the sprays out, and I can get the cards out. There are color mirrors card, like they're kind of like,
Oh, wow, amazing.
and they're always so spot on for people. So
Yeah.
um the messages that come up for people are just, yeah, I can't put it really into words ever, but people often say, wow, that is so
Mm.
spot on.
I know it's going to go down so well with the crowd that we're attracting. I just know it. I can already visualize
Oh,
who's going to be there, how excited they're going to be, and the energy of that workshop. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm there.
yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, no,
I
I'm
can sneak away.
really excited. It is a real honor to have discovered the modality, and then to now hold space for people who are on their journeys as well. And I'm still very much on my journey as well.
Yeah, we all are.
We all are. So I always get really amazing feedback myself from holding space for people. So it
Yeah.
really is just giving grace and thanks and gratitude for that process as
I
well.
had Sarah Chave on here the other day. She's got a really successful podcast, a New Earth podcast, and she was at Elevate last year, and she said what she really loves about it is, although we're all experts in holistic health and we've all been on this journey a while, and we've done a lot of our own work, that we now hold space for other people, is that we are still a work in progress. And what she really loved about Elevate is we were holding space, but we were also holding space for each other, and that's what's really beautiful about it. It's like there's no hierarchy, nobody is more evolved, really. That's just a matter of perception, and to be in a space where everyone's coming from the heart and just offering their wisdom, but then also learning from somebody else's wisdom, is and just holding space for each other to really explore, is just, I'm so excited. It's only like 4 weeks away.
Yeah, yeah, it's really exciting, and it's a really amazing space to, yeah, inspire. So yeah.
Is there something that you enjoyed about last year's event, last
um,
year's Elevate?
I think it's that coming together with people who are on that, a similar, they don't want to live life by the way society does things, and it's just coming together with like-minded people, isn't it? And finding that connection with people that you wouldn't necessarily meet on an everyday basis. But I definitely think being behind the juice bar was, yeah, it's definitely a great way to inspire people.
Mm.
To be honest with you, I think one of my highlights was when I just decided to step in and feed your crew, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was fasting. I think I was on
Well, you were amazing because we actually had so many crew just not turn up and
yeah,
drop out, and volunteers and stuff. And so you were running the juice bar with Phil, but then also helping me out with crew food and stuff. Yeah.
incredible personal experience because I think I was on like day 30,
You were juicing. Yeah.
quite a way into a juice fast.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't eating solid food, certainly wasn't touching cooked food. And I just had this very heart opening experience of, I want to do this from the heart. And that has been a really massive part of my journey here on earth throughout my whole life of, coming from a very, very dark place, if I'm being open and honest, and my heart being very, very closed, just not being able to to open it. And then to just have this very sort of spontaneous experience, and it was an idea that came through me and it was a creative expression as well. It was like, look, there's no one that can do it. There isn't a person here. I could do it, and I actually really feel that would be a joyful thing and a fun thing for me to do. And then I'm helping everyone else, and it was just probably one of the first times I've ever really experienced what it means to be of service, because I was fasting as well.
It makes it, because I felt guilty. I was like, are you sure you're okay? Like making food for people when you're fasting? Like, are you sure? And you were like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm loving it.
Yeah, so empowering. It was so
Yeah.
empowering. It was something where, one of these examples where I just got out of the way of myself. When people say just get out of the way of yourself, and
Mm.
we can say that phrase. There are so many phrases we can
Oh,
say.
there's so many phrases that you hear all the time, and then you're always learning it at a newer level.
It was, yeah, it was an
Yes.
embodied experience rather than just saying something that's intellectual.
Yes.
It became an embodied experience. So that probably was my highlight. And thank you for that reminder, because we go on with our days, don't we? And then we forget all
Mm.
these things that happen. But
I
it
love
was very,
that.
yeah, it was very empowering. And
So it did elevate you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's amazing because it was our first event. There wasn't that many people, but the people that were there did get elevated. Everyone has their own individual story, because we were going through the processes of healing. There was the energetics of the land. There was so much going on that I think everyone had their crying phase where they had to go back to their camper or caravan, and there was so much going on amongst the kind of running of a festival, which really showed the power of the vision about when we come together, that and it's the safest place to come and have these processes because you will be held.
Sure. And what I'm really receiving in this moment is it's the power of intention as well. That was your a vision, and the power of intention was
Mm.
is to elevate. So sometimes all it is just setting that intention, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
life just happens. And
Well, my own journey came from 2020 when we were working with a Raw Cafe, and your partner Phil was there, and there were others, and we were a team for the whole summer. And I think it was exasperated by the fact it was the first summer we were allowed out of lockdown. And so it was just really lovely being with people. But because we were all eating high vibrational food, barefoot all summer in the sunshine, and then this heart open love between everybody, I experienced the magic that humans should be able to experience every single day, but we've been kept from it for whatever reason, with our own blocks, with the news, with our lifestyles, everything else. But when I experienced that potential of humanity, it really woke me up to something. And then I started seeing other festivals and offering all the things that kind of block us from this human potential, and it just came in, like, you have to do another festival. And I thought, oh, that's a bit much, but the vision is strong. It's about, there's this human potential that we've all got access to, and we're not in it because of this lifestyle. But if I can create a space where everyone can access that vibe together, then that's as far as we can get so far. But and just doing it last year, even though there were things going wrong around us, the energy and the intention happened, like you just described, and like other people have described to me. So that's the important thing, that the energy and the intention stay as it is. And we can deal with having lost the wristbands and all the other little things that went wrong, staff not turning up, whatever, because that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the vision and the energy that we all share between us, and all the little magical shifts that we have individually and collectively. So yeah, thank you for sharing that story. Love that. Oh, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you in just a few weeks, and your lovely boyfriend Phil, and your juices and your coloured mirrors. And yeah, I will tag your website and your Instagram in the description.
yeah, thank you.
And if there's anything else, any last words?
Oh, I don't know. Keep shining, and yeah, and
Keep looking at colour.
yeah, and yeah, just keep going, even if you're in even if you're in a space at the moment where you're struggling. Just the rewards on the other side are worth it. And yeah, we're all in it. We're all in it together.
Yeah, and we're stronger together. There's just if people are listening and you are finding it hard at this time, find spaces. You not necessarily elevate if it's not calling to you, but other spaces where there's a communion of people, facing a more positive direction, because it will lift you.
Absolutely. Follow the breadcrumbs as well. Not the bread, but
Not the
just
bread.
follow the follow
Maybe the linseed raw bread.
follow the clues that the universe. That's another thing I would say is start to open up to the universe. When I very first kind of something changed in my and I used to like just literally go to nature and listen to the wind and notice what animals were around me, and then I'd go and look up the spiritual meaning. Just open yourself up and start to like listen to a different language.
Also, we have a lot of blocks in perception, don't
Yes.
we? So a lot of people say, oh, crystals, oh, that's all hippie stuff, I'm not getting, and so you kind of block yourself off to the information because it's different, or it's something that you associate with something that you don't want to be attached to, um, and also stepping out of your comfort zones. There's been a couple of people that are really stepping out of their comfort zone to come to Elevate that have spoken to me, but they're feeling the call, but they've never been to a festival before, or they're scared about going to these types of workshops or being in these types of environments because it's a big jump from their reality, and I think to just trust the calling, isn't it, always, and stepping out of the comfort zone and trying different modalities, and you become more confident by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just be gentle in that process as well. And it's also shifting out of judgment as well. If we can shift out of judgment,
Yeah.
we're going to come out of duality and staying stuck and staying in our comfort zone. So
Mm.
judgment is one of the keys. And
Judgment boxes us in because we're always, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a really good word, judgment. Yes.
um, I mean, that's something that color can help shift. But yeah, and life is just so much more exciting when our perspectives and our perceptions are so much wider. Like
Mm.
it's just so much more exciting.
Yeah, because people even will block themselves up to talking to somebody that isn't like them, for instance, and actually I find it's more exciting me meeting people that are nothing like me, because then I get to learn more about different, their different points of view or the way that they look at the world, and it kind of expands my consciousness, the more I meet different people that are different to me and what I'm used to. And that's just one example of when we open ourselves up and step aside from judgment. Yeah, that's a great last note.
Yeah, there's so much. I could probably sit here and talk about all sorts of different things. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing. Thank you for having me
but
on.
we'll get you back on again for next year's festival, so don't worry, we can talk and talk and talk.
Amazing. Cool.
And when we can talk in the field in just a few weeks.
Yeah, yeah, exciting.
All right, lots of love.
Lots of love. Thank you.
Bye.